I'm here with our resident HP print and cut expert, Paul Wagner. And Paul, I have a few questions about the RIP today. Can you maybe help me with some of the questions I have?
Sure.
All right. I'm very familiar with SIF Flexi's RIP because I've used it extensively with the 315 and the 335 and also even with the 365 and the 500 series. It drives all of our latex printers. It is a certified HP RIP. What I don't get are some of the features that are specific for the print and cut workflow that seem to have been included in this new version. And I'm told that there are some features on here that are helpful for running a print and cut operation.
I would agree. And the main thing I would say, the main difference between what I would call the branded versions or the non-bundled versions of the RIP would be that there is a barcode server built into this version of this RIP. It is not in the SAI branded version. So you can't go to an SAI dealer and say, give me the one with the barcode server. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
The only way to get that functionality is to buy the bundle, and that comes in this version of the software.
Okay, great, I understand. So as I understand it, the RIP, when you get a print and cut device, the RIP that comes with it drives one printer and one cutter. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so here we have the print and cut version. I see the one cutter and the one printer, in this case the 315 and the 315 cutter.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody said to me that you can get an expanded version. It's an upgrade that would allow you to run multiple HP printers. For example, I have a 335, a 315, another 335, and two cutters. And they said if I get this upgrade, which is, I was told $500, it would allow me to run all three printers and both of those two cutters. Is that true?
It is true.
Really? So in a sense, this RIP is also upgradable. It's modular. In other words, the architecture allows you to add other printers or other cutters as you grow or as your business expands.
Yes. So while it starts off as one for one, it is expandable into larger scenarios with multiple devices for a fairly nominal fee of $495.
Wow, that's a fantastic deal because that lets me pretty much run a whole shop with one RIP. And also it's important that this RIP isn't sort of a dead end, you know? I mean, I want the RIP to grow with the company. I don't want it to just be, I can only use it in this limited capacity.
Exactly.
Because I'd like to have, you know, 2 or 3 print and cut devices at the end of the day. That means my business is growing.
That it does.
Okay. So let me open up a tool in here and maybe you can explain to me some of the features that are very unique. I'm going to open this up a little bigger. It appears to me that you have these presets at the top. And, you know, I open those up and I'm seeing them and it looks like they're set for all the different types of media that you would use with the print and cut. Is that true?
It is. So one of the things that's very nice about this package and this version of the software, once again, is that there are a whole series of these what are called cutter presets.
Great.
That are pre-built in anticipation of various scenarios. So for example, if I'm doing self-adhesive vinyl without lamination, it gets us into the ballpark for that scenario just by making a choice off this drop-down menu.
Yeah, and I see other ones for with thick lamination and thin lamination, because obviously adhesive vinyl with a thick lamination is going to be a very different product than what I'm getting here.
That's correct. So the idea is to, regardless of the scenario or the media or the substrate that's being used, to get into a ballpark. Now there might be a little bit of adjustment necessary, but it's modest and quick to do those fine-tuning adjustments.
So there seems to be some features on here, particularly in relation to this little cutter icon. And when I click on it, I see, you know, the outlines, you know, where the cut lines are, and also it looks like there's a kiss cut and a perf cut. It's almost like the software knows where everything is completely with the image that I've sent to it.
That's exactly what's happening, Tim. So when that job is being brought into the RIP, whether it's coming in from either the editor side or from the outside, from Illustrator or from CorelDRAW, part of the process of opening that file involves parsing it to see if there is any cut geometry built into the file.
Cool.
And it will recognize those names, and it will then say, ah, this is a kiss cut, or this is a through cut, a perf cut, if you will, and that will then automatically be recognized here on the in the lip.
When I double click it, the dialog comes up and it shows me that this is a kiss cut with a self-adhesive vinyl thin lamination. Yeah, see, I looked at 170 gram and that seems a little thick, but now that I see that it's a lamination, it's actually 2-ply, so it's vinyl plus the laminate, and obviously they would do the presets, I think, slightly thicker, knowing that you're going to put a lamination on it.
Exactly.
And I bet if I switch this over to a Kiss Cut with just regular Kiss Cut, then it goes back to 85.
That's right.
So what it's doing in a way is anticipating the settings that you're going to need for a Kiss Cut and a Perf Cut under these different medias that you would run.
So all you really have to be cognizant of is making sure the preset is defined here, and that then brings us into the proper ballpark when we start drilling into it.
Okay, that makes sense. So what I would want to do then is always make sure that whatever my media is, I choose the appropriate preset for it. Like if it were a transfer film, I choose transfer film, which sets parameters which are going to make more sense for a transfer film.
Exactly.
Great. So not to leave it at default up there to choose something. Well, what if I, for example, I run a lot of IJ40. It's one of my favorite print and cut medias. Can I create a preset specific for that media, like a custom one if I want to?
You can. You
Really?
can add any number of custom presets for specific media products. You can give them whatever name would make sense to you.
Okay.
That are dialed in for those specific products, and you've kind of built it and tested it, and you're off to the races without having to test and dial it in.
So I could kind of use the ones that are on there already as sort of templates to reference from, and then make my own specific for the medias that I run in my workflow.
Exactly.
Fantastic. That's really cool. So this thing is designed to link up with a print and cut, and then you hit OK, and it has everything saved for me, and then the file is here. After I print, are the files kept if I want them to? Because a lot of jobs I do, I'm going to lay them out, and get it right, and then I want it to just print the same job over and over again because I use it constantly. Will Flexi retain jobs in the queue and everything?
It will. It's up to what settings you want to do. So normally, by default, the software will basically keep it. It will retain those jobs in what's called a done state, meaning the job has been printed and it's been cut. At that point, it is effectively done.
Okay.
And as long as it remains in the queue, any reprints of that job would simply be printed and are able to then be cut over and over and over again.
Okay.
Now the next level of saving, if you will, is what's called archiving a job, and that would then put the job into a different folder so that even if the active queue were to be deleted, the archive jobs are still retained. They are then moved when needed back into the active queue, and we can repeat that process.
Okay, so sometimes, yeah, I'll do a job, but I might not need to bring it up again for 6 months, and I can put it in archive state so it doesn't clutter up my workflow.
Yep.
Perfect. Also, I am told that Flexi supports full nesting as well. So if I want to take 8 different images, bring them together in a single print, you can nest images together.
Also true. Also true. In fact, there's multiple types of nests. So you can have an auto nest. You can also have a manual nest where you're in control of specifically where the job would be placed on the substrate. So there's a number of ways you can nest the jobs very easily. So
does the nesting also allow you to like position so you have the smallest waste within your media, so it kind of dials it in? Because I want to utilize, especially an expensive vinyl, I don't want to waste any.
Yeah, there's actually a really interesting function called true shape nesting.
Great.
Specifically for vector graphics that might have a unique shape to them.
Okay.
And it'll actually save, in many cases, upwards of 30 or 35% of the material by not just looking at the object as a rectangle, but its actual geometric shape.
Right, like if you could take triangles or stars and kind of tuck them in together, I could save a lot of material and cut them out that way.
Yep. Perfect.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds to me like this RIP has really been dialed in for a print and cut workflow. Like we've added features, we've added certain versatility to it, as well as these presets, which when you get it, it's really focused on doing print and cut.
I would agree.
Fantastic. Paul, you've helped me enormously to understand some of the features. Thank you very much for your expertise.
My pleasure.